Welcome to Spotlight on the Arts. I'm Patrick Christiano, your host, the publisher of TheaterLife.com, a website for theater buffs covering Broadway and off-Broadway theater. And I am coming to you from the LTV studio in Wainscott, where I have a really cool guest, someone who I have known for quite some time, Mae Mougin. Did I say your name correctly? And she is a producer that has made a fascinating film called Waterproof, about saving the people in the oceans and the lifeguards in our community out here in East Hampton. And you also have Thomas Brierley.
Yep.
Did I say that correctly too? Because I'm just learning. I didn't just met Thomas today. And this film is just marvelous. And I even learned something that I didn't know in the process of it. So tell us, how did this all come to be?
Well,
I mean, that's one big question. So let's start at the beginning.
so the beginning was
Like your love of the ocean.
I love the ocean. I always went to the ocean, swam in the ocean as a child. I grew up in the beaches of Santa Monica, and I went to camp in Malibu. And the ocean I was always drawn to the ocean. If I wanted to swim, run, and I became a lifeguard for the pool when I was 16. And the ocean was something that water is healing, but at the same time, it's also dangerous. So I wanted to learn the balance of beauty, bliss, with ocean caution. How do you navigate when you watch breaks? How would they come in 5 breaks? Do they come in 4 breaks? And so I was fascinated by, when I moved out here full time, my son did the junior lifeguard program in East Hampton. And he met Big John Ryan and Johnny Ryan.
Now, Big John Ryan, he's the real focus of your film. And I want to insert something, because you made your film in 2019.
Correct. We premiered it in 2019.
2019, and it won an award, but we'll talk about that later.
Right.
But it won an award, and it was at the East Hampton Film Festival, and it's an incredible film that covers so much relevant information. I just want to let the people know that your film's out there. It's available, and we're going to share the inspiration to where it came. So it's her love of the water that was the seed that went.
Love of the water, and also I really believe in being a member of one's community.
Right.
And this was a way of sharing my community and something I love. It became an educational film, which originally maybe would not have been our intention, but that was what the story became, with the director Ross Kaufman and my executive producer.
Oh no, the director Ross Kaufman. Let's talk about him just for a minute, because he's really special too.
He's very special, but to go on top of Ross would be Regina Scully, who was our executive producer, who brought in Ross Kaufman.
Oh, I don't know her.
Regina Scully is an executive producer of many documentaries. Fed Up, which would be one you might remember.
Okay.
She has one in the upcoming film festival called Common Ground. She's very supportive of doing films that not necessarily teach you something, but leave you to think about something. And her brother Dominic was a member of the lifeguard community. And so Regina wanted to support her brother. Unfortunately, her brother died from a surfing accident, and it was his dream that this film got finished. So with the team effort of Thomas and the whole lifeguard community out here, the Ryans, East Hampton Volunteer Ocean Rescue, the town of East Hampton was incredibly supportive. LTV was our first fiscal fiduciary.
That is so cool that LTV.
So I'm kind of making a full circle, because I started here with Seth Redless, who was the executive director at the time. And I came to the board and I said, John Ryan wants us to tell his story.
Well, let's stop a minute. Let's show the people the trailer so that they see everything we're talking about. They can fit. So let's have the trailer, and then they'll give us more information about the inspiration and all the parts of the film.
Can you respond? Dispatching the ambulance, fire department.
When the disaster happens,
Get somebody down here.
you do this coulda, shoulda, woulda. If I got to him sooner, he wouldn't be dead. Guess what you're in? A rip.
Lifeguard for life? That is so true.
It's in our blood.
Literally, my whole family does it, so I want to be able to do it also.
With 7 children under the age of 9 that don't know how to swim.
That wonderful lady was not going in for recreation. She went to save those kids. She knows she's in trouble. We train a lot.
It's hard.
We focused on what can we do. Can we make it safer? Can we do it? Yeah, we can do it.
We are trying to waterproof this community, and it's working.
Bravo. Now your film stands up as a standard for other communities. It's
Well, that was our goal as well.
that was your goal as well?
Was to be able, and Johnny Ryan's goal, and the reason I think he agreed to let me film their story is it wasn't going to be a reality TV approach to lifeguarding. It was going to be a approach to, this is our program, this is what we did in our community, you can do it in your community. And that's why there was so much support behind it. And what's fascinating to me is this was an idea. My son Jean came on board to help me produce it, and it became a family affair.
What was the first, like you said when your son started to be a lifeguard?
He did the junior lifeguard program.
So did you get the idea for the film then?
It triggered me because
That's
I
right.
had done I had done lifeguard training in California,
Uh-huh.
and then I saw Jean do the training, and then I found his medal in my studio, and I went, oh my God, Jean did this. Completely kind of forgot that he was all part of the program, and I went to Johnny and Big John. We met on the terrace of the Amagansett Beach Club where Thomas's
And when did you do your lifeguard training originally? Do you remember?
2011.
2011.
And how old were you?
It's 15.
15?
Yeah.
And so we started filming with the help of LTV, and we brought in a crew, and we filmed Thomas and his class of,
And then, Tom, you're the assistant chief lifeguard of Montauk
Yes.
and the assistant it's the swim instructor. Is
Yes,
that correct?
swim
At
coach.
East
Yeah,
Hampton-
assistant swim coach.
At
Yep.
East Hampton with the girl team.
Yep. With the women's team. Yeah.
Right, that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun.
and his father, Greg, is a scientific genius on understanding water, how our lungs work when we swim, what swimming does to us mentally, physically. And he's like a walking encyclopedia. And so all,
And did you grow up in the water?
I grew up in
as
the
a-
water.
As a baby?
I grew up in the
And
water.
you too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I was
yes.
in pools. I would dive off a pool all day, just do dives, just swim. Sometimes I'd sit on the bottom of the pool just to meditate on the bottom of the pool. And so when Big John said to me, we start training tomorrow if you want to film my story. And that's how it began. So we went to the beach. I hired a crew. Lori Wiltshire came on board with me in the beginning. And we filmed Thomas and several other members who are now part of Ocean Rescue. TJ Calabrese, Brian Cunningham, Steve McMahon,
Bob Pucci. Yeah.
Bob Pucci. We watched Bob Pucci, who was chief of East Hampton Volunteer Ocean Rescue, take the test, pass the test because he wanted to lifeguard with his son. So this is a family.
This is one of the things that I found really fascinating, besides just a family thing and how it passes down to the family, was how all of the people that are lifeguards here, they all are very proficient in so many other things, and they have full lives besides just this. But this aspect of being a lifeguard is like one of the integral things that unites it all.
Well, if you look at who were lifeguards in their teens and then what goes on in their lives, Ronald Reagan was a lifeguard.
I didn't know this.
Well,
Did you know
I
that?
did not know that.
Johnny Weissmiller was a lifeguard.
Well, that I knew.
That everybody seems to know. There are several members of Congress who are lifeguards on both parties. And when it gives you training of confidence in yourself, and it teaches you how you can overcome your fears when it comes to the water, and it can teach you safety. And then when you become a lifeguard for life. Dick Moynihan is in Montauk. He's 80 this year, I think.
82.
82. He passed the test. So as long as you pass the certification test, you can be a lifeguard.
And he still sits on the lifeguard stands.
Whoa.
Yep.
At
Yeah.
82?
At 82.
Can he really bring someone all those yards that you have to
Yes,
do at
yes, he
82?
can.
I think he can.
He can, he's also.
I mean, you have to pass a test, right? So
Have to
did you
pass
do
the
all the,
test.
when you get recertified, how often is you get recertified?
Every 3 years.
So do you have to do the physical aspect of the test too, every 3 years, or is it?
Every 3 years.
So I guess he has to then,
Yep.
and he can do it.
He did it, and he's also EMT, so his mind and the beauty of this program for Johnny Ryan, who's the chief for over 20 years of the town of East Hampton,
Now, how many children does Johnny have? He has
3. Johnny has 3, Big John had 9, 7 were lifeguards.
Big John had 9 and 7 of them are lifeguards. That's the
7
point
were
I wanted to make.
lifeguards. No, I think I think Patty was the only one who wasn't a lifeguard. I think so. I think it's 8.
Someone must have been resistant.
No, well, because the girls, when they started, East Hampton Town would not really hire
Uh-huh.
women lifeguards.
Of course.
And so Big John came in and Johnny came together and said, we can do something here where the lifeguards become part of the community. And then Johnny it's a seasonal job. So the guards are on from, say, Memorial Day to Labor Day, where in California, you're a year-round guard, and you're also part of the fire department. It's a whole other structure.
Right.
But they have built a program, so now you have 3rd generations whose parents did the program, and now they're lifeguards.
Wow.
And then they come and join East Hampton Volunteer Ocean Rescue, which is a continuation of lifeguards who want to do something more, but need to work. We've got plumbers, carpenters, title insurance guys,
Real estate agents.
social workers,
Yep.
employees.
How many altogether are there about?
84?
Yep.
About
Active.
84.
And did they cover, that's just for the town of East Hampton?
Yes.
Yeah.
And East Hampton, we were talking about Amagansett and
All the way
Montauk
to
too.
Montauk.
All the way
Yep.
to Montauk. So we go from East Hampton all the way to Montauk.
Yeah.
And then Alex King, who was a member of our organization, started Southampton. She became chief of Southampton Village Ocean Rescue. So we all work together. The goal is to save this person from drowning.
Now, Thomas, you had an extraordinary experience saving a lifeguard. You want to share that with us and tell us what happened and how it impacted on you?
Yeah, so, just another day down at the beach, sunny. I still remember it to this
Do you remember
day.
how long ago it was?
2012? 12,
No, I think it was
13?
13. It was like my
Irrelevant.
first.
Do you
my
still
first-
remember to this day is
I
what's
do,
important?
Yes,
Yeah.
I still remember everything that happened from me hearing that whistle to me, letting go of her neck and letting her go onto the ambulance and all that good stuff. So, and then
Saved your
afterwards,
life.
yeah,
But you saved a life from someone that could have had a broken neck and could have had something that was so severe that it wouldn't have lived.
no, I mean the doctors they told us if we didn't do what we had done, she might not have been walking or as well as she is now.
And how did this impact on you?
It made me realize how fragile life is in a way. But it also made me realize, you can never take anything for granted. You got to just, buckle down and do what's right. So.
And did this reinforce your commitment to what you were doing
yeah.
too? I mean,
Yeah.
it really showed you how important it is what you do, right?
Exactly. Yep. We were there within 30 seconds. So if it's anything past there, it's like, oh, you really got to think about what you're doing. So.
And Thomas, Thomas was young. He was, the way these
16.
kids are trained, they don't, they just do their training. Everything goes sort of back here. And you watch how they go out to the victim and how, this was a member of our community and she was a high school student. And now, because of Thomas and the training of the other people in the water, she's now living with, I think she has a tiny little brace around her calf. She's a lawyer, and she has a life ahead of her. And because of what happened, also, her father wanted to join East Hampton Volunteer Ocean Rescue. And so he came down for training. And so that's the beauty of this program. It's not just come and join us. You become part of the family, and we embrace that. And so the film gave me an opportunity to do something that I loved and also save the next person from drowning. Because riptides are something that people don't understand. This year, there's been a lot of drownings from rips.
I can share that, you know, what I thought was really interesting. From your film, I learned something that I had a misunderstanding about riptides all the time. And it was about, the film made it perfectly clear that you just go with it until it pulls you all the way out. I always had this misconception where you're supposed to go diagonally or go parallel to the shore. You're not supposed to do any of that until you've been pulled out
Then you
and
go
are
parallel.
You're just gonna
outside of
wear
it all.
yourself down
Yeah,
faster.
exactly.
Yep.
And it never was clear to me, but
And-
this film made it so clear.
And
Yeah.
also not to panic.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Because-
How do you do that, though? when
Well,
you're-
no, because, you know, every time I talk to Johnny and every time I've involved, when there've been calls and we all talk about, well, what could we have done better so this didn't happen? Even Chief Sarlo says it in the film when Leslie Scaglione drowned. What could we have done? What
If
could
only
we-
people would approach their lives like that, what could we do
you know,
better?
what could we have done better? And so that's the beauty of this, because I learned, you know, even when Johnny says, when you panic, you sink. If you relax, your lungs inflate and you float. So people don't realize that, you know, drowning is also silent. You don't scream.
Mhm.
You're not, huh, you know, it's, you go down because your lungs, your body goes into this shutdown. And so you just need to, as hard as it is, relax and say to you, okay, I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get through this. And okay, just relax. Yeah, the shore is really far away. Don't worry about that. Just get on your back
And float.
and float. Obviously, don't swim alone. You know,
That's a
tell
big-
someone you're
that's a-
going.
yeah,
That's, you know,
exactly.
I was always taught,
Swim buddy.
swim buddy, swim with a buddy. And actually what's interesting is at the UN yesterday, somebody brought up that, you know, when people drown, they're gonna push you down if you approach them. And so there was a correlation between, you know, someone who wants to, a country that wants to survive, they're drowning. And so they're gonna do everything they can to survive. And so every time there's a discussion or every time we show the film, I learned something new. And that for me is what life's about, is to be curious, learn something
I
new.
couldn't agree with you more.
Don't give up. This was a dream I had, and it took 10 years. Regina Scully brought in Ross Kaufman, who was an Academy Award-winning director, and he brought it home. You know, we had 3 days of interviews out here. We filmed at the Amagansett Life Saving Station. Kathy Piazzattine, you know, opened up to Ross, and he has a way of storytelling. And so now here we are, after premiering at the Hamptons Film Festival. We've gone on to win some major awards for Best Documentary. And now the film is available for libraries, universities, college campuses, because if you want to graduate from Columbia University, you have to know how to swim.
Now, there's a website if they want to learn all about your film, so they can learn.
Correct.
What's the website?
Lifeguardsforlife.com.
Waterprooflifeguardsforlife.com. The website's fabulous. It really gives
Thank
you
you.
wonderful
Team effort.
insight into all the little essences
out-
of what it's
team-
about.
all of
But the
this-
film is even more beautiful.
Thank you.
It's just a work of art.
What's interesting is to, you know, here we are so many years later, to still watch it. It still works. It still holds, because it's helping you understand the ocean, and then it's showing what you can do when you come together as a community.
And that's the most powerful part of it, how community, all focused, can take care of their own.
Yeah, so we showed the film in Puerto Rico. And they're now gonna use the film and the program that Johnny and all the guards have established here down in Puerto Rico, because recently there was a drowning of a local woman. They don't have a lifeguard program to teach these kids and to teach adults how to go in, how to get out. You know, it's kind of easy to go in. It's knowing how to get out.
That's the challenge there.
That's the challenge.
Yeah.
But Thomas is the one who really, you know, he got it, and he's so involved and he's so committed, and you see him on the jet ski, and it's for me, to be next to someone like Thomas is a treasure for me.
Oh, well, thank you.
that
So,
catch?
I forgot at the top of the show to thank you guys so much for coming. I kind of was launching into talking about the movie, and I forgot to thank you both.
you're so
Thank you
welcome.
so much for coming to do this.
Yeah, this is awesome.
It's been exciting learning about your film. And we just serendipitously ran into each other last Saturday.
Exactly.
And you
Here
called
we
to,
are.
yeah, here we are.
And it's a full circle. Like I
Yes.
said, LTV was supportive of the community story. I think we did our first interviews here with Big John and Johnny on a green screen. Bob
Yeah.
Pucci. People came in and talked. And now we have something that can go on and go to libraries, and communities can have screenings. The distributor is Collective Eye, and they help pass the film on. It's on the website, Collective Eye, if people want to rent the film.
You could rent it.
You can rent it, or you can buy a DVD and show
And
it.
then does your website give all that information, or
Yes.
you have to go to Collective Eye? Where do you?
It's on the website now.
So it's on the website. So you go to waterproof.com
Right.
for
Right.
okay.
And then also, through the film, because of the importance of the film, in today's East Hampton Star, there's a picture of our chief, Barnaby Friedman, and TJ Calabrese with a new piece of equipment called the Aqua Eye, which is a sonar, which just goes under the surface of the water, and they can find the victim. And
Wait, tell one more time.
So it's a little device that uses sonar
How big
to
is it?
basically,
It's
you
tiny.
know, it's a little handheld device. So you just hold it right under the water. You could
It's
be on the back of
electrical
a
or
jet
it's
ski.
batteries?
Yep, it's battery powered, so you can recharge it.
And the water doesn't
Um,
affect the batteries?
Nope,
No.
doesn't affect it. And you submerge it, 2 feet, not even, and you just do a slow scan, and it picks up, fish or, bodies if it comes down to it, or whatever else is in the water, buoys. So, and it marks them with an X or an O or whatever. So it's
And
pretty
this-
cool.
When did this come out?
Last year, I think it's been a thing for a little bit now, but we are finally getting into it now.
by having the film,
And what I forgot to tell everyone, by the way, we have in back of us, this is a lovely poster of the film. I don't know if you guys can see it good, but it's a beautiful, beautiful poster with the lifeguard, Big John.
so that's the beauty of having something that you can show. And then, as Johnny did, saying, we would like to purchase this equipment. And we had a little fundraiser, and we've now purchased 5 for the town of East Hampton.
How much do they cost?
They're like $5,000 each.
That should be it.
And then Governor Hochul gave the town a drone.
Yep,
Oh, how
that's right.
fabulous, Governor Hochul, thank you.
Yeah, right.
So the drone is above, and then these are in the water.
And that has an infrared camera.
Now, did
so
you
it can
did you
pick
have
up
to reach out to
heat
her to get
signatures.
these things?
I'm
sorry.
I'm not clear about.
But what they have, you were saying.
It has a flare camera, infrared, so it can pick up heat signatures from 200 yards away.
Technology today just
It's getting-
blows me away.
I hear you.
Does it do it? You're young. Does it? Do you?
Oh,
Are
yeah,
you
I
still
get
dazzled
excited.
by
Oh, yeah,
technology too?
Definitely, yeah.
I remember when we first got the first cell phones. Remember how big they were? You don't remember
I
that? That was
don't, I
before your
don't.
time.
I mean, my first phone was a flip phone, so
Yeah, so it's been a pleasure beyond, and it's been an honor, and I'm so appreciative and grateful that I was able to do this, and for the community to support it, and the Hamptons Film Festival to support
And
it.
to come up with such a beautiful product too. But it's just a beautiful, beautiful product.
And it also continues, it still get requests to show
You're
it.
passing it on.
Passing it, well, I totally believe in that. You have to
Yes,
pass it
yes,
on
yes.
to the next generation. And that's why I was very happy to sit next to Thomas, because he's been on this journey with me from the beginning,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
We haven't, we couldn't use all the footage. Anybody wants to sit with me for another 4 hours and go through all the footage we couldn't, Amanda Calabrese, TJ's daughter, was in the film, and she went on to be beach flag champion, went to Stanford because she was a lifeguard. So there's all these, opportunities when you become a lifeguard, or you become committed to safety and water and doing something, and then you get to write about it. And you know, what's her name? Julianne,
Maggie Purcell.
Maggie Purcell, you know, was a lifeguard, and she's got full scholarship to the University of Richmond. And then Ocean Rescue, we give a scholarship award every year to a high school senior who writes about what it meant to them to be a lifeguard. So it's more than Baywatch.
It's all about your love of the water
Yes.
and where it takes you if you really immerse yourself
And
in it.
respect the water.
And respect the water, yes.
Yes.
We're almost out of time. I want to thank you so much for coming
Thank
to do
you.
this with me. It's been my pleasure to have
Thank you
you,
so
and
much.
I love your film.
Thank you.
And it's a pleasure meeting you, Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
Keep
for
up
having
the
us.
keep up the good work, guys.